it means that, for example, if you're gonna borrow money, you should be able to pay it back right away, or have the money already saved. So when you borrow that money, you could pay it back within that month. And credit cards, especially, guys, if you're young, especially if your credit card by some chance or your parents gave it to you, if you use it the wrong way, it can mess you up because once again, you buy a couple items, you don't pay it back, you get a balance, it affects your credit, and before you know it, damn, I got a 300 credit score. I don't know why. What? Shopping carts like Macy's, things like that.
Consumer debt.
So this is a little bit story for me back in time when I first came to America. Thank you, Chris. Story time. So back then, I was at Pembroke Pines, driving to Boca every day to work at AT&T, come back to Pembroke Pines, and I'll go to the gym sometimes. I'll go eat with friends in that Pines area. But what I would see is every time I go to the mall, these guys are buying clothes from Macy's, buying all these designer stuff. And I'm like, why are these guys buying like all this stuff? How are they buying it? They work a job like me, making $7 an hour. But it was because they're using store credit cards. And they'll buy the drip, they'll buy all the gear, and they'd be decked out, go to parties, pick up girls, whatever. But when it came time to actually do something with their money, for example, invest in themselves, they couldn't because the money was being spent and used to pay back debt, which is bad debt because obviously speaking, clothes are a bad investment. So I decided to say that like these small things that add up over time, and I know some friends as well, they will actually go like on like trips. They'll go to like Dubai, they'll go to Hawaii, spend like $1,000. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like you have no money saved up. And then what happens is, let's say an opportunity, like a big opportunity came up, maybe for a property or for investment in maybe like stocks or like crypto. They couldn't do it because the money was spent elsewhere. The point of guys, like, if you want to be free, you have to be debt free. Because if you're not free, to like LJ, you're a debt slave, which means you're enslaved to debt. And in the Bible talks about the borrower being lender to the slave. So it means that, for example, if you're gonna borrow money, you should be able to pay it back right away, or have the money already saved. So when you borrow that money, you could pay it back within that month. And credit cards, especially, guys, if you're young, especially if your credit card by some chance or your parents gave it to you, if you use it the wrong way, it can mess you up because once again, you buy a couple items, you don't pay it back, you get a balance, it affects your credit, and before you know it, damn, I got a 300 credit score. I don't know why. Well, my friend, early on in your life, you bought a bunch of stuff you didn't need, and you never paid it back. So I say all that to say that, like, for the most part, guys, if you're gonna be on this financial freedom path, debt has to be off the table. Because if it's bad debt, for example, of credit cards, maybe store cards, maybe going on trips that you can't afford, or even buying dumb stuff, it's gonna affect your future. And for the most part, guys out here nowadays, they spend money on cars, and I'm like, I get it. The car thing, once again, I love cars as well, but you have to do it the right way because if you do it the wrong way, it can mess you up. So
yeah,
credit is important.
Yeah, guys, consumer debt, you got to work to really get rid of it. I can even live with college loan debts because at least there you can pay an amount. You'll never get rid of college loan debt. By the way, you can't even declare bankruptcy for that stuff. Yeah. But when we're talking about consumer debt specifically, credit cards, etc., because that's absolutely going to negatively impact your credit score. And when your credit score is negatively impacted, that's going to affect your ability to procure assets and get yourself in a position to get a business credit card. It's going to hurt you down the road. So for all the young boys that are watching this right now that are 18 years old or above, besides joining the selective service so that you don't go to prison or get a fine, make sure that you go ahead and open up a credit card, guys. At 18 years old, you need to open up a credit card. If you guys are out here still paying for shit cash or with a debit card, you, my friend, are
you stupid.
I've said this before, I'll say it again. You should never be paying with cash. You should never be using personal debit cards. You need to be using credit cards. Now, with that said, that's a double-edged sword that can mess you up. You use the credit card so you can go ahead and get your credit, number one, get a credit profile, and then number two, get your credit score up. But you also want to be doing that delicate dance where you're not necessarily decreasing your credit score by buying a bunch of things, having your utilization up too much, etc., which we break this all down in our credit card episode for beginners. So please go back and refer to that if you guys want more detail on that. But in general, avoid consumer debt, guys. Okay, absolutely avoid it. It will lower your credit score significantly and impede your ability to procure assets, namely real estate. Because when you want to buy real estate and you want to get a loan, like I told y'all before, first thing they're going to do is run your credit. And if your credit sucks, you're either not going to get approved, or even worse, they're going to give you a really high interest rate that you won't necessarily be able to afford. So for you to get the best rates so that you can go ahead and get a house that makes sense, you need to have your credit score on point, guys. All right. We tell you all the time, you want to have at least a 720, if not above. That's going to put you in the best position to get approved for the credit cards that actually give you rewards back. And you'll be able to get a mortgage with a with a favorable or competitive interest rate, and so many other things. A car, you want to finance a car, whatever it may be. You want to open up business credit cards because, contrary to popular belief, people say, "Oh, business credit cards don't count towards your personal credit." That is true, but you need your personal credit to get the business card in the fucking first place. God damn it!
Forget that.
People keep forgetting that shit. That you need personal credit in the first place to go ahead and get the business credit card. So get the business credit card through having good credit first, guys. All right. So yeah, man. And then that's not to be confused, guys, with good debt, which is real estate debt. And real estate debt, the reason why real estate debt is good debt is because typically if you did everything that we told you guys and you looked at cash or cash returns and you're buying a property that's cash flowing, which means what? All the bills are paid after the fact and you're able to make a little bit of money. It doesn't matter that you have $1 million in debt on a real estate property because what's happening is the house is paying for itself and you're making money in the process and you're getting all the other benefits I talked about before with taxes, etc. So consumer debt is what you need to limit and or eliminate. But if you're going to have real estate debt, that is what you call good debt. Robert Kiyosaki came in here, guys, and told y'all, go watch that episode back. He said he's like $1 billion in debt, and he's probably a billionaire himself. Why? Because he has a bunch of real estate debt. He used money from the banks, right? OPM. With interest, other people's money, OPM. You fucking naughty by nature type shit. You down with OPP? I need y'all to sing. Yeah, you know me. I need y'all to have that with the real estate mantra. You down with OPM? Yeah, you know me. Yeah, OPM, other people's fucking money, the banks. Okay, they want to lend you money. I told y'all before, if you try to buy stock buy their own stock with the bank, they're gonna give it to you. But if you say you're gonna buy real estate, next thing you know, them boys start rubbing their hands like this and they'll give you that money. Why? Because they know they can make interest on it. But who gives a fuck? Because you're not paying the interest. You're not paying the debt. Your tenant's paying the goddamn debt. And that is how you create wealth in the United States of America.
Yeah. And also, your bank,
like the video!
You're not paying it back either as well.
Yeah.
So they can take it from you.
Bro, come on, man. Come on, this is what we're teaching you guys is life advice that they will never teach you in school. This is shit that your parents are never going to teach you. This is shit that will literally save your life and get you out of the slave mind. It will get you out of the fucking matrix.
And you know what's crazy too? Most people, they go through life and they're like, you know what? Damn, I messed up. But if you actually took a step back and say, you know what? Where did I mess up? You bought a bunch of stuff that you didn't need, wasted money buying dumb stuff with credit. And why is it so low? Because everything you did in the past led up to these mistakes. So guys, now you know, moving forward for your kids or for yourself, don't make these mistakes.
Yeah.
All
right. So now we're on number two.
Number two.